Okay, if I can have your attention, we'll resume our chase driver top 12 availabilities here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Joining us right now is Greg Biffle. He drives the number 16 Scotch Blue Ford this weekend for Roush Fenway, 11th in points. And coming into Atlanta Motor Speedway, Greg, certainly you've got one win on the season. I'm sure you'd like to add some more bonus points here before we go to New Hampshire.
Yeah, certainly would. It's a good racetrack for us, and the Scotch Blue Ford Fusion running well this weekend. A little slow off the truck, but we got it going better. And qualifying trim, we felt pretty good, and went to the top of the board there. And then on our second run, got a little bit too tight off of 4, had to come out of the gas. I think it was a little better lap, so we didn't get to finish that lap, but we had to back out. So adjustments for real qualifying, and we got a fairly good draw finally. We got in the 20s, so we'll see what the track conditions are like. But real excited about this weekend. Cars running good, and definitely looking forward to some bonus points.
Questions for Greg Biffle? If you have one, raise your hand. We've got a couple of wireless. We'll start right here with Mike. Go ahead.
Mike Hembry, Speed.com. Greg, you won last month. Carl's program has been better the last few weeks. But I think we're still looking at the perception that the Ford program is down this year. Is that a bad thing going into the chase? Does it matter what the overall concept people have of the season has been?
Well, I mean, it's no doubt that we've struggled as an organization, Roush Fenway, at getting Ford its share of wins. But certainly, as of late, we've run much, much better. Turning point is really Chicago. Carl finished second. And we were running very well and had an engine problem. But Indy, Pocono, Michigan, fast. We were really fast as an organization. Like I put it a couple weeks ago, now it's just opportunity. Before we were trying to get to the top 5. Now it's simply the opportunity, when you get the right pit call or you get track position or, you get out front at the end. We're going to win our share of races now. We're running competitive enough to do that. Now it's just opportunity, same as everybody else. Why the 11 didn't win last week is the same reason why we didn't get there. It's just by chance, So I feel we're good enough to win as an organization at every track now, pretty much every track. So I think we're going to be winning some more races.
Next question. Who's got one in the back? If we can get the mic to Chuck all the way in the back, and then we'll go to Steve.
Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group. Greg, next week we all head to Richmond, a track that I would say statistically has kind of been in the middle road for you. Can you describe what you like about Richmond? Do you feel like you have struggled there, or, is it a track you want to improve on, and what makes it so tough?
It's funny. We've run very, very good there in the Nationwide and the Truck Series. I've got wins in both there, and in the Sprint Cup, the old car we ran fairly good, but the new car we have been as good. We've been mediocre at best, and I'm really curious to see how our car runs with this new front suspension package we have. That's one we haven't been on a short track with it yet. Chicago was our first attempt with it at the racetrack, so I'm curious to see what it runs like. I'm actually more looking forward to Richmond than anything, just for a test platform of how we're running now on those type of racetracks. So that'll be good for us. I'm looking forward to getting there and seeing how our car runs. Maybe an idea how we're going to be at Loudon.
Let's go Steve and then David Newton.
Steve Richards of PRN. Greg, can you talk about, no matter what happens here at Atlanta, as far as the guys going into Richmond on the bubble, how nerve-wracking that is to try to make the chase?
Yeah, I remember last year what it was like. And, man, I just hope that we can get locked in here, We were talking about it in the transporter at the team, and I said, well, one thing is if we get locked in here, we can always take next week off and just get ready for Loudon. That they all thought that was a good idea, but weren't sure what all of our sponsors would think of that. But, we really want to get locked in. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Mark and Jamie and, myself and Clint Boyer right now to see who's going to take those last 2 spots in the chase.
I mean, is the atmosphere around the hauler different when you're in that situation?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's a lot different now. Everybody feels a little calm because we have 235 points, and we know that a couple of top 20s will lock us in, and we know that we're better. You know, we're capable of better than that. So we have a little, you know, not. I think last year, if my memory serves me right, which is not very good, we were 70 to 90 points or something, or maybe less, going into Richmond. So, you know, we were definitely in a vulnerable spot at Richmond, especially running 15th to 18th the whole night. So we were treading on thin ice. This year we got a lot more cushion, but still everybody's a little, you know, nervous till this race gets over.
Let's go, David Newton.
Yeah, Greg, David Newton, ESPN.com. Can you put in perspective what Kyle Busch's 79 wins at his age, even though it's in 3 other series, you've raced in other series. I mean, do you discount some of the wins or whatever because they weren't in the Cup, or just put in perspective what it means to you?
Well, you know, I was thinking about that the other day, and you know, we can all step back and say how easy it is to win in the Truck Series or Nationwide Series, but it's not. You know, it's not easy. But it is easy when you have really good equipment. You're on your game. You know, everything's clicking. Everything's working right. You know, it's I wouldn't say it's easy to do, but it's doable. And I thought back to a situation where I went a season. I think it was a whole season, maybe half a season, but I thought it was a whole season without running a truck race. And Jack's teams were struggling with no wins, maybe, I don't know if they had any top 5s. And he asked me if I'd come back and run a couple of races for him. And I went back and ran 4 races and won 2 of them. And, you know, I probably had an opportunity to win 3 of them, but we got a flat tire. So I look back at that and say, you know, if I would have kept running the Truck Series, would I, you know, would continue that dominance, you know, winning 50% of the time or better. And, you know, so it's capable if the situation's right, the cars are right. But, you know, he's doing a remarkable thing, you know, to win all those races. And, you know, he struggled in the Cup. It's funny, he struggled in the Cup Series on some stretches, you know, crashed a couple weeks, lap down, not running good, you know, 3 or 4 weeks in a row, then he comes back and wins. You know, so it's not as consistent in the Cup Series as he is over in the Nationwide and the Truck Series. And I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, it's a lot tougher here, obviously, than it is over there. But, you know, success rate is much less here. But it's not easy to do what he's doing, you know.
Other questions for Greg? You got one, Paul? Go ahead.
I was trying to ask Greg. I was trying to ask several of the drivers just their thoughts on this being the last year, obviously with 2 races here and moving an event out of here. What's your thoughts on only coming to Atlanta once after this year?
Well, I mean, you know, I really love coming to Atlanta. I like this racetrack. It's fun. Kind of seems like the natural thing to do. And to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it yet. I mean, I haven't thought that next year we're only coming here one time. It's sometimes it takes a little bit for that to kind of set in and take place, become a reality. And you know, I like coming here. It's fun to race at this racetrack. I think they put a lot of fans here. I also understand that within anything that there's time for change, you know, and to move on and try different things. And I understand that's what they want to do. And I think Kentucky will be a good addition, I think, because it'll be a new venue and nobody will know what to expect. So you'll probably have a rush of fans to want to go to a new place for a few years to see, you know, what it's like and what it's about and how the racing's going to be, you know. So on top of that, it being the first Cup race ever, you know, at that racetrack, a lot of people want to see that. But you know, I'm gonna, at least we get to come here one time still, but I will miss coming back twice.
Anything else for Greg? Anybody else? Greg, we appreciate your time and good luck tomorrow night.